Hello once again, everybody. Thanks for tuning in to another edition of AIW's The Card is Going to Change. Before we get into this week's episode, of course, the shout out to our sponsors that help us bring the show to you for free each and every week on whichever platform you choose to listen. Thanks to Pollyanna DIY. They make incredible enamel pins as well as other awesome customized merchandise, and they have some old school finds that they typically put up there, so check out Pollyanna DIY. Thanks to Angelo's Pizza. You've tasted some of their award-winning pizza at our shows. If you want to try more than just pepperoni or cheese or some of their other delicious dishes, or maybe you want a hot engagement spot, check out the wonderful Angelo's Pizza on Madison Avenue in beautiful Lakewood, Ohio. And thanks, of course.
Quick question.
Yeah.
Did you, when you got engaged in Angelo's Pizza, did you have to pay?
Not me.
Did you pay for the pizza, or did they give it to you for free?
They gave it to me for free, and then they gave us like all the liquor we drank that night for free.
All right, so
And you got like a lifetime pass.
And I have a lifetime 20% discount.
wow, okay, all right,
How about then?
okay, just checking.
Thanks.
Can you order all the pizzas for shows then, or is it only dine-in only? Oh man,
But I'm treated
guess we're
like
having a show at Angelo's then.
I'm treated like a celebrity there.
We get a
though.
good discount with
They
the
give us a
shows.
good deal.
Do they? All
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
I'm just looking out. I'm trying to improve.
Hey,
at
that's
the
why you're my
little guy.
financial
I know.
advisor.
Cutting corners, man.
And thanks, of course, to our partners that bring these shows to you guys, that you're able to watch them, whether you download it, MP4, whether you use the streaming service or purchase on DVD. You can do all of that thanks to a now amazing and wonderful merger between SmartMark Video and IWTV. Check out smartmarkvideo.com, purchase past AIW DVDs, and sign up for IWTV, independentwrestling.tv, that is. And there's plenty of shows in the rotation from AIW archives. Plus,
There's I think 92 shows of AIW on there alone.
wow.
92.
all that old AIW that I love.
So here, this will be my ploy to Mike Burns yet again. I sent him a hard drive with all the real old stuff that SmartMark does not even carry. Let's get that shit on independent wrestling.tv.
I don't know about all that.
I love it.
Let's get some DVDs for sale for those completists out there. I believe the first 2 years.
Completists? That's what they're called?
Yeah, completists.
Okay.
I believe the first 2 years are on the hard drive that I sent him, including the I don't think ever released on DVD first show ever. So it's all on there.
Well, there you go.
I can't wait
Go to smartmarkvideo.com, go to IWTV.
Email Mike Burns
Yeah,
and annoy him.
steal his
Go to
hard
John
drive.
Thorne's house, steal the hard drive.
I don't have it. I sent it.
You
I
sent
sent
it.
it
You
to
sent
him,
it,
okay.
yeah.
sent it to SmartMark Video headquarters. I sent it to.
That hard drive is like gold.
Well, now with the merger, it's now SmartMark Video Towers.
You know what it is? You know where it is? It's like the Ark. It's in a box. All the way, it's being monitored by top men at SmartMark Video.
Will people
in
melt
a wooden box all the way in the basement?
Are people going to melt if it opens?
I think they got.
Maybe.
I think they got a skyscraper now after this merger.
Yeah, well, I don't know.
Wow,
It's
how
in the
about that?
basement.
That seems not financially.
Big merger.
Good.
Skyscrapers are big money.
Dude,
Oh yeah,
Dude.
a lot of office
What?
space there.
tell them about mergers and acquisitions.
Accusations.
Robles has a big gold watch.
I know you know about accusations, but I'm talking about acquisitions.
Hey, oh.
Well, let's get into this week's episode. I guess you've already heard all the voices. We are
Hold
joined.
on. Did we say use promo code Absolute when you sign up?
Use the
Steve.
promo code Absolute when you sign up
For no free
of
days?
Of course,
You get a free trial.
No discounted days.
You get a free trial.
1 week, right? Isn't it a week?
Yeah,
I don't know.
Something
I
we
got
have
all
no
the
idea.
DVDs already. What do I need that for?
you get a free trial.
Yeah, we got stuff. But use the code Absolute when you sign up and check out that awesome merger. Where become a completist eventually, maybe.
Hopefully.
But we are joined by the six-figure man, the Golden Boot Hoss Division champion, the Duke. We are the now healthy Duke, should even add. And we are also joined by one of the members of the production, Derek Director.
Hello.
Hello. Rare appearance for you on the podcast.
I've been really busy lately, so now I'm back.
That married life.
I got a new job.
New job.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. I'd love to talk about it, but we got other things on topic here. on the
Making
show.
movies.
Love to talk about it, but we just don't care.
We don't have the time.
Moving on.
Moving on.
Also, as always, owner of AIW, John Thorne. My name is Steve Guy, your moderator of sorts. This week's episode, we're not going to get to Derek's new job. Maybe we will eventually, but our main topic is AIW 200. That's right. The 200th show of AIW took place in Akron in early November of 2019, and we were all there, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, everybody was there.
Present and accounted for.
Yeah,
No engines falling out of your car.
No. Better luck this time.
better luck this time in Akron, and we were joined by special guest Ted DiBiase, the $1 Million Man.
Man, he was one of the last few guys that were on my like signing meet and greet bucket list, and I had tried to get him so many times over the years, and finally it all kind of lined up, and he couldn't have been
He was cool.
more awesome.
I mean, before the show, when everybody was hanging out talking to him, he told some really cool. Didn't know him and the Junkyard Dog were best friends. And
Yeah.
the Junkyard Dog was the best man at his wedding.
That's crazy. Yeah.
That's wild.
Yeah, that's what he said. And then they were doing some territory. He told the great story where they were doing some territory. I guess they were babyface tag team.
Mid-South.
And he did the turn on him with, was it like the loaded glove or something?
I think that's what he said, yeah.
Or loaded tape or whatever. And he said and then was it Watts who brought him in? And he told him not to drive, or he's like, I'm not driving, because he was afraid his car was going to get destroyed by all the fans, because he finally turned heel on JYD. And so Watts had to go. I don't know if it was Watts, I forget, but he had to go. Whoever went to go pick him up, dropped him off. They did the show, and they slashed all 4 tires in that dude's car because he brought DiBiase to the show.
Yeah, he was just telling some like amazing stories, and at one point I looked, and there was just this gigantic circle of people around just listening to Ted, and like I looked at my phone and I was like, it's like 5 after 6, like we got to get the doors open, because like, and he had been talking for a good half hour, 45 minutes, and it was like just telling, like, that's what's so great about bringing these guys in, is when they kind of start to loosen up and feel comfortable and they start telling stories. And
Sure.
I think a big part of that was, we've discussed in the past, the Fonzie effect definitely helps when these guys come in and they see a familiar face. And, Fonzie starts, Fonzie's such a company guy. He starts feeling them out, and seeing what kind of mood they're in, and then he'll come and give me a report. And he knew that I kind of wanted Ted to do something, but Ted doesn't really do that much in the ring, if at all.
Yeah.
And it's like, I laughed so hard because Fonzie, like, he's just talking to him. He's like, when's the last time you took a bump, Ted? And like, he's like, oh, and like, he's like, they're just talking. And then like 20 minutes later, Fonzie comes up. He's like, he's in a pretty good mood. I got him thinking about taking a bump. And I was like, oh, okay. Like, let's let him simmer down, and settle in. And the Fonzie effect, though, was in full effect this night.
It's funny you said that, because I was standing around at some point. I was there for a while, and I'd get to say hi to Fonzie. He's always one of the first, because I always get the Fonzie text when he lands. So he lets me know that he's in town. Like, all right, good to know. And then Pedro's like, I kind of got to get Ted over to the table here, and I got to at least get him situated, get him started, but he just keeps talking to Fonzie. And I go, say no more. To quote Twan Tucker, I was like, I got you covered, Pedro. I just walked up to Fonzie, and I was like, hey, Fonzie. Stevie, how are you? And I get the big hug and everything. And then Pedro immediately just swoops in. Hi, Ted, can I borrow you over here? And then
Pedro wanted to get the signings going.
Yeah.
Pedro, he's always doing the right thing, that Pedro.
Well, there's like,
Damn him.
Before we even start the signing, it's like, okay, like, let's get stuff for me. Let's get stuff for him. Then he brought a bunch of his personal collection to get signed. And then, and then we get started. Pedro has so much autograph shit of mine at his house, because I'm always running around during the show. And I think at this show, I didn't have a car, because I rode with you to the after party. So I didn't even have my car with me at this show. So I was like, I had nowhere to put anything. So Pedro has all my Ted DiBiase stuff. He has so much of my stuff, but
Pedro, he makes sure he gets everyone's autograph stuff signed first. He has a list. He gets me autograph stuff. He gets Tom Dunn autograph stuff, Eric Ryan autograph stuff, and probably like 5 other people stuff. So he has a checklist of all the people he gets signed.
Yeah, he always gets. Yeah, he gets.
And he gets it personalized too.
he gets
Everything's
me stuff.
personalized.
He gets Thorne stuff. I'm trying to think who else he gets for. I think Wadsworth. I think he gets stuff for. He's on there. But
I've never asked. I'm not a mark, so.
you know what? I've never asked. Pedro just like knows. certain.
I wasn't-
Like, he just grabs
I'm
it for
just-
certain
I'm just
people.
kidding.
I've never been.
I don't. I've never taken pictures with people, and I don't get stuff signed. I don't have it.
I've never been a collector, but it's like I got all this stuff. Like, there's all this stuff here. Why not? Keep something for one day. You know,
I get to do stuff with everybody. That's my bonus.
You may get the coolest thing out of
Yeah.
all of it. Usually either you or Dr. Dan. On this night it was you, which we'll get to later. But Pedro, he's a good guy. Let's get into the show. It was there were no real big mishaps
No, I don't think
going
so.
into this, as we alluded to. Your car worked, but you didn't take it anyway.
I didn't take it.
I think the only mishap was some of the AIW students didn't show up.
Oh,
that
that's right.
That was a big mistake.
So Thorne was already fired up about that.
Because we didn't have like a lot of people to do the jobs,
Yeah.
and then there were certain guys and Arthur MacArthur I cannot sing his praises enough. He is always the first guy there. He's always the guy that offers to go do any job, no matter how shitty it is.
Yeah.
Like, there was a time where Alex Shelley might not have had a ride, and Arthur MacArthur was going to drive to Detroit and drive him to the show, and then drive him back to Detroit, and then drive back. He always is like number one guy to offer to do anything.
On this night, he went up the hill to Target and picked up 2 cases of water that we all needed. I said, "Go see Pedro. He'll give you some petty cash."
Yeah,
and
he is.
get the boys
But
some
he's
water.
always one to do a job, and unfortunately, he was one of the only guys at the show that was available to do a job. I had wanted to give him a dark match, and this is kind of how Levi Everett comes into play. Eventually, now he's got a dark match a few months, a couple weeks later, but Levi Everett is a Fonzie thing because Fonzie was like, "Hey, brother, I want to see if the Amish kid can work." And I was gonna do something with him and Arthur MacArthur probably, in some sort of dark match because Fonzie was really pushing the Amish guy on me, and Arthur MacArthur deserves it because he's always kind of the guy that's there.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, not enough of the other students, especially the undebuted students, even bothered to show up.
But in the group chat, they all said they were going to be there.
Right. And so
Got
unfortunately,
receipts.
Arthur and Chuck Stone had to run the Ted DiBiase meet and greet session because there was just nobody else there to do it. And they were very, very unhappy.
And we ended up. I don't think we had any dark matches then because of this
because
night.
there was just not enough guys to go around. I will say, Ted DiBiase to this point in AIW history, November 2nd, 2019, becomes the largest meet and greet ever.
surpasses Harley Grace on that night, huh?
Surpasses Harley Race by almost
A
double.
record that would stand for almost 4 weeks.
Not even. Yeah, not even.
28 days.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
4 weeks, I
27,
guess.
27
It's like
days.
a
I
women's
think.
27?
championship just getting tossed around.
Oh,
Oh, I'm not talking about that. I'm just saying WWE tends to pass that belt around a little bit too much. They haven't done it lately, but
So let's get into it. The very first match, CPA, Wes Barkley, and while CPA has been around for some time now, with AIW, this card in itself really begins the Cap intrusion. I guess I'd say.
Yeah, a little bit. That's what I like a little bit about the Akron shows is we can try some things out. In Akron, you're gonna feature on this night only 2 guys because Dom had to do MLW.
Yeah.
But you like the kind of the plan is like let's feature the 3 guys that are from the Akron area. Try to get a signing of sorts, and then let's mix in, guys that don't necessarily always get matches on shows, or try some different guys out. And speaking of which, we're going to do another talent initiative in Akron on February 22nd.
Hey, there you
mark
go.
your calendars.
So I know that's been announced already, but we haven't talked about it on the podcast. but this is one of those things. It's like, okay, and now CPA's been coming around. He's doing some things like, and now he puts a carload together with VSK and Bear Country, and we can try it out on this Akron show because there's a lot of room to kind of play around. We have our featured players, so to speak, but and I don't even want to say that they're B shows. They're not B shows. That's not the right terminology for them. But it's like we have our kind of our cast, and a lot more of the supporting cast gets an opportunity to shine in Akron because it is a very strong market for us. So we don't have to rely a lot on some of the other guys to hopefully draw because it's just things have been going so well down there. So well, knock on wood if I can find it, that we're going to do 3 Akron shows this year.
Oh, man. There you go.
That's a lot of veterans that get to beat me up.
There's not a lot of guys left. There's not a lot of guys left,
I like that you put the honor on them with that.
Hey.
A lot of veterans that get to beat me up.
That's right, man.
The pleasure's all theirs.
Well, if you got to beat me up, you'd be pretty happy about it, wouldn't you?
Yeah, I mean, yeah. Sure.
No, because last time, when Thorne gave you that lariat, you were so complaining that you got lariated in the throat.
I didn't get lariated in the throat. I got lariated in the chin.
You shouldn't have tucked your chin. You should have.
I didn't.
I said before we went out to the curtain.
He threw it high because he took his glasses off, and he
throw it
did it
high.
on purpose.
I said, watch the lariat, bro. It's coming hot.
And he did it on purpose.
I said, watch the lariat. You had Swoggle so nervous at Absolution.
I know.
And you were right to.
Exactly. I'm a lot of things, but I'm not a liar. I'm saying he throws it high.
Swoggle
He's
took it
going
right-
to hit you in the face.
coming
Swoggle
hot.
took it right on the forehead,
I'm coming hot.
right across the bridge of his nose.
Turn them and burn them.
Turn them and burn them.
So we
I feel like fucking Maverick and Top Gun when I'm getting ready to throw a lariat, man. I'm just ready to hit the afterburners, dude.
All right.
CPA West
Watch the
Barkley.
canopy, Goose.
CPA West Barkley lead
Turn them and burn them.
The crowd hating West Barkley as per usual. That's what they love to do. He may be joining the ranks of the Duke as one of the most hated men in AIW.
I don't know. That's a tough hill to climb.
What's the hatred depth chart, you think?
It's me, and then it's Dan, and then the problem with Wes Barkley is they like Josh,
But
and
they hate
so they don't like Wes. So I don't think Wes gets all the white hot hatred that he could
him.
get.
He gets a lot of vitriol though when he goes out there by himself.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying.
Man, those the AIW regulars hate him.
Yeah.
But I mean, I think they legitimately hate him.
Yeah, I think it's because like when he used to bring all
As
his
opposed to
friends.
you, they don't legitimately hate.
No, I don't think. No, they do until they put me on their podcast or they talk to me and have a drink with me. They go, "You're not such a bad guy." I'm like, "Yeah, no fucking shit, asshole."
They just haven't done that with Wes Barkley.
But no,
Because Wes Barkley,
he's right. He's right because he had the Barkley Nation and everything else, and I still think there's some leftover resentment.
Yeah,
from
just
that.
from the fans.
Yeah.
I would say MJF probably would have been up there. He may have been.
MJF was probably. Yeah, okay. He's works for a national company, so clearly he was past everybody. I'm not going to make that.
No,
comment,
but I think in AIW he may be. I think it still would have been you 1, Dan 2, Max 3, Wes Barkley 4.
Well, because Max has something that even though he's tearing you apart, you still kind of go, that was a good one.
He's gonna, You're like, all right, he's gonna be a star. It's fine.
Yeah.
Like I used to watch him spit his gum out and slap it in people's face, like his actual gum. Every entrance.
Yeah.
And the fans literally knew it was coming because it was right when he came out.
Yeah.
And they just stared there and cheered him.
I watched him at WrestleCon last year, charge so much money to just be mean to people.
Yeah.
And I was like, "Is this I had to leave his table?
Yeah.
Because I was like, this is so uncomfortable."
And that's what I'm saying. It's like people they get off on it because it's like getting insulted by Don Rickles.
He made
or something.
I watched him charge a lady $20 to sign a trading card, but he didn't close his hand. He made her put the $20 bill in his hand, and he made the lady close his hand. And then he grabbed her card and he signed MJF, and then he flung the card. Didn't hand her it.
Yeah.
Flung it at her, and it flew on the ground, and then she walked away. And I looked at him, I'm like, was that necessary? And he goes, yeah, man, she's going to come back and ask for another autograph. And 20 minutes later, she came with an 8x10, and he charged her $20 more and treated her even worse.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, man, you're living the life, dude.
Yeah.
Well, after CPA and Wes Barkley, we roll into another member of the Cap carload.
Very serious Keith.
Very serious case.
Very serious
Yeah,
Keith.
every time I see that.
I never saw that.
Dan
That
Housen.
on Twitter.
Very serious.
Very serious Keith.
Very serious Keith taking out.
That's what it means.
I don't know, but it's funny.
He said it in the Smart Mark promo.
Yeah.
And afterwards, I was like, is his name Keith? And Dan Housen's like, I don't know. I think it is. And I was like, all right, here we go.
Well, so that was
this
that
makes
match.
me laugh every time I see it.
I did not see that.
You ever,
Oh, yeah.
you never saw that
I
on
didn't
Twitter?
see that, no.
Oh, yeah.
Danhausen puts a lot of stuff on Twitter.
That's true.
It's hard
That's true.
to
That's true.
sort through it all.
That makes me laugh.
Well, how did you sort through this match, Derek?
It was good.
Danhausen and VSK.
It was pretty good.
Keith.
Very serious. Keith hit Danhausen with a crazy Spanish fly. Sometimes
Like a
Spanish
standing Spanish
yeah,
fly, yeah.
sometimes Spanish flies don't look good, and I was kind of nervous because Danhausen, he doesn't flip really good. So when I seen him hook it and they went and it looked beautiful, I was like, oh, here we go. But Danhausen accidentally spit a White Claw on my face, which was very terrible.
Yeah, that kind of took you out of the game there.
Blinded
I
me.
think VSK is probably one of the guys to keep an eye on in 2020. I think.
Yeah.
He just has a lot. He has a lot going on, Like he's got a good look.
Mm-hmm.
He's very proficient in the ring, and I think he's a guy that could very well catch on in 2020.
Okay. Is Danhausen's dancing becoming a little bit too distracting?
I think so.
Is he getting too caught up in the
He's
dancing?
going corporate. He's
as
going
opposed
corporate.
to
Corporate housing.
Corporate housing.
Corporate housing.
as
He's
opposed
getting away from the gritty grindhouse effect that the director is trying to put out there.
he just keeps going for those.
He's gone
sequels.
mainstream.
Means
Yeah, it's exactly what I'm saying. He's corporate housing.
He keeps trying to get the money.
Disney
from the
Danhausen.
Disney
yeah.
housing.
Disney housing.
Disneyhausen, all the money from the sequels,
Yeah.
and it just keeps.
They've let him out of the vault.
Keep-
Because
bringing it
believe me,
back.
there's been plenty of sequels to that fucking dance spot.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
There's a lot of sequels.
Yeah, some
Sequel every fucking weekend.
It's like I don't know. What's a movie that had too many sequels?
Like fucking Friday the 13th
Yeah.
or so many sequels.
So well, there was that.
It's over though. You can't deny it's not over. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
No,
Yeah.
every time. The
over.
crowds love it.
That's just like the Friday the 13th. Every time a new one comes out, they all go see it, right?
Somebody likes it. That's why they
Big
keep
box
making 'em.
office. Big box office Don.
Yeah, it's like he's like an X-Men movie. Should have stopped making those a long time ago, but they keep coming out. People keep going.
Marvel Donnie.
Yeah,
Marvel housing?
Marvel House.
Danhausen universe. I don't know.
The Danhausen universe. There you go.
There you go.
Now available on Patreon.
Danhausen Plus.
Then we roll into Wheeler Yuta versus Zach Thomas, and this is one of those moments where Thorne, you're saying you don't like to call it the B show, but it's an opportunity where these two going to face on other cards may happen in a four-way or
Right. There's
a scramble.
There's,
of some
there's
sort,
a lot.
as opposed to-
There's a lot more opportunities on, say, an Akron show to try stuff out like this.
like they can actually have a singles match.
Right,
one-on-one.
exactly, and they worked very well together. Yuta is another guy that he's just on the cusp of being the it guy.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm not saying anything is missing. I think it's just a matter of time to where he is just the guy. And Zach is another guy that's had a lot of undercover good performances in AIW that hasn't necessarily gotten his due outside of AIW. So this was a good opportunity for him to mix it up with one of those guys that is on the cusp of, breaking way out in 2020.
and mixing it up with a Wheeler Yuta who is still younger but is further along than Zach. It's a good opportunity for Zach to gauge, okay, this is how I make the next step, because
And just,
Wheeler is very seamless
And just
in the
learn,
ring.
Zach has been, he's done like a lot of like heavy hitting brawl type things.
Yeah.
And this is a completely different animal for him.
From there, we go to, probably match of the night, so much so that, we ran it back again. Alex Shelley, Lee Moriarty, and this was billed as, the huge opportunity for Lee Moriarty, one that he gained, oh, by the way, by doing the New Talent Initiative in Akron months before, earlier in 2019, and has done so tremendously well, and has just caught the attention of everybody within AIW and the fans, that, including apparently Alex Shelley, and these guys go one-on-one, and it didn't disappoint. We talked it up going into it.
It was, I've said it before, but it was one of my favorite matches of 2019 for sure. Mainly because it could have gone completely different. Alex Shelley could have went out there and ate him up, and that could have been it. And that's not what happened. Alex Shelley went out of his way to try to raise the profile of Lee Moriarty, and it's a clinic, to say the least. It's a clinic.
It's like Lee Moriarty signed up for the Alex Shelley seminar, but it was just the two of them
showed up.
Yeah,
I did have to laugh when speaking of Alex, when NXT was in Warren,
yeah,
and he wrestled with Kushida. I think they went on first.
That's part of his
I had
contract.
to laugh. I was like, he's even got WWE putting him on early.
Yes, that did happen. Well, he gets on the first half of this show, and this was one going into it. We were telling people, buy the tickets, come see this. This match is going to be incredible. And we didn't stream this. We don't typically live stream the shows in Akron, so you more than likely haven't seen this first one yet in the series. Go buy the DVD. Go buy the MP4 AIW 200. Go out of your way and find Alex Shelley versus Lee Moriarty Part 1.
You get live streams or you get brownie Sundays. You can't have both.
Yeah,
That's true.
So
yeah, that's true.
Because
Brownie
we're not
Sundays are
sure
good.
what the
internet is.
we've never been able to check to even see if they have internet, because they just we book the date and then nobody is there until we show up for the show.
they have a lot of secret rooms and a lot of Shriner trophies.
Yeah.
And
I'm willing to bet if you just
they
showed
got a
up,
koi pond.
if you show up, there's probably a camera somewhere.
So
and somebody in a
hopefully-
secret layer.
Yeah.
will see you at the door.
Dom is the one that works with this venue mostly. Different guys kind of contact different venues, and Dom deals with this one pretty much directly. And I think, since he's gonna be there on the 22nd, I think he's gonna see if they who knows if they even know what the fucking internet is at the Dadmore Shrine.
Thorne, I don't think they do have internet at the last show. Lexi came, and she was doing her homework, and they set her up in a secret room.
Yeah, they
which
got
was
a lot of
It was
those.
wild. It was like a
They
nice.
got a lot of secret
It
rooms
was
there.
literally a nice office she was in, but we asked if there was internet, and they said no. So she had to use the hotspot from my phone. So I don't think there's internet.
Well, there you have it.
There you go. Sorry, folks.
Sorry.
It's closed.
At least
What's up, Front?
3
Should've
shows
told
of AIW
Hot Sundays.
in 2020 are gonna you're gonna
Brownie
have to come
Sundays
live.
instead.
Coliseum home videos are coming from
That's
Akron.
right.
That's right.
You gotta wait for the video release.
Bringing Lord Alfred Hayes in to host.
Oh, that'd be so sick.
But the hot Sundays are great, and they do have liquor there too. So
Yeah, people love the concession stand though.
Brownie Sundays are a big hit. That's all I know.
They
Wadsworth's
kill.
eating in between matches,
And the thing that drives me nuts is we get
and he's actually paying for them too.
because we get no
we
concessions
get
there.
nothing. Yeah, we get literally nothing.
We get that's the only thing that's really bad about that venue is we have to pay rent and we get no concessions, no anything.
You could literally go right from the ring, bleeding, sweating, and go to, hey, can I get a beer? Oh, that'll be $4.
yeah,
Like,
there's,
dude, come
there's,
on.
there's no fucking easy buckets in that
No,
place.
somebody did buy me a drink that night. I forget who it was. So sorry, but thank you. Then we roll into some hot tag team action, and Bear Country shows up in this one. This is their first appearance in AIW.
Pete, you're out here for this one, aren't you?
That cap
I
drive.
was.
A lot of people say outside of Lee and Shelley that this is the match of the night.
Well, I'll tell you this. Pull back the curtain for a little bit.
I heard somebody.
Let's go behind the curtain here.
Yeah.
On Wrestling Cheers, it was mentioned as being one of the favorite matches of the year.
Pull back the curtain here for a little bit.
Well, let me real quick just mention who's all in this. So we have Bear Country, Bitcoin Boys with the Duke, 40 Acres, AJ Gray, PB Smooth, and To Infinity Beyond there, Cheech and Colin. Go ahead.
Right. Okay. So you have a situation where you have Bear Country, who are enormous
Yeah.
and agile and very good and very new, so they don't really know what to say yet. And you know what? And you have Cheech and Colin, who
The vets.
are geniuses when it comes to putting stuff together.
They are like savants about wrestling.
and
Like
so
they do not.
you have-
I will say it till the end of time. They do not get their due.
No, you have
I agree.
8 people and Mikey and Eric who need to learn to speak up for themselves.
Because they are brand new.
I'm going to say that, and I told them that. I think I told them that backstage, but they need to speak up a little bit. Not that they didn't. I mean, they ended up going over, so I get it, but they probably could have got a little bit more of their stuff in.
Is that because you think just so that they can get stuff in, or do you think that they have the
they were the
intelligence?
smallest. They were the smallest ones out there, and they were going over, so it was okay. And I was out there too, so it's fine. It's just in the back of their heads in the future they might want to speak up a little bit more. That's all I'm going to say about that. But listening to them put this together, and it was kind of because there was 8 of us or 9 of us, so I don't think there was a time when all 9 of us were
Sure.
there. I mean, there might have been a little bit. And so going from point A to point B with that whole thing, listening to it in the back and then being out there and watching it, somehow everything worked. Like I don't think anybody missed anything.
I think that's the Colin and Cheech effect.
Yeah,
I honestly do.
I mean, can you speak to that?
Yeah, 'cause
no,
you've
100%.
worked with them now?
Yeah, 100%. Colin and Cheech, they do not like going over matches a lot, so they'll go over it, and just the seamless, like every transition they have in their head, like it may come across a little bit rough when you say it, but when you're out there and you're going through the process, everything is smooth.
But what I was concerned about was with 8 people and 2 big dudes and 2 little dudes, and then PB and AJ who aren't small people, and it was just everybody being able to get to where they needed to be, the timing of everything, and with people coming in and out, not really missing. I mean, I think maybe there was maybe one thing that was a little messed up, but that's only because I knew it was supposed to happen. It just everything just worked, and it was.
There was one spot in the match that I know Colin called it, and he's a madman for doing it. He got
The power bombs?
Yeah, was it power bombs or was it gorilla presses? Where every big guy in the
No, it's
match
power
gave him
bombs.
it.
It's power bombs.
Oh my god, it was insane.
Yeah. Well, it was funny because it was at one point, I think it was the bigger Bear Country guy. I'm trying to remember what he was. Oh, I think he was like, they were concerned because I don't think the crowd was up right away. They were kind of like waiting for stuff to happen.
Feeling him out.
Feeling him out a little bit. And he goes, I knew we had something when Duke pulled me out and I punched him in the face and the place went nuts. He goes, if they went nuts for that, he goes, what are they going to do for the rest of the stuff? And I'm like, yeah, well, A, that kind of happens, but B, yeah, I mean, you're absolutely right.
Yeah, you're lucky that you were that guy.
Yeah. Yeah.
They're going to love you from that moment on.
Yeah.
I mean,
Well, maybe that was it. Maybe he said he wasn't sure how the crowd was going to take to them. Maybe that was it. And he goes, and when I punched you in the face, he goes, and they went apeshit. He goes, I knew that we were all right.
they're going to be
I'm like,
okay. What a match. So pretty much it's chaos and
I love
all the
tag.
right places and
Tag scrambles are my favorite.
Yeah.
But sometimes they don't get a lot of love like they are. It's
Some people hate them, but I love them
hard.
because they're high energy.
Yeah, it's just a
when you
highlight
do it
reel.
right, and you get where you're supposed to be. Yeah, they're great, but sometimes, and if one thing goes off the rails, it's real easy for the whole thing to fall apart.
well, it's a great example of, this was a highly touted match towards the end of 2019, And earlier on in 2019, one that you were involved in, Derek, everybody talks about a tag team scramble from Jersey City.
Yeah.
So people,
It's the Colin and Cheech effect.
yeah, I guess
preaching it to the end
that's
of
the
time.
common denominator, I suppose, right there. I mean, are they probably, Thorne, to you, the most surprising of the tag teams not signed, of tag teams out there?
100%. I mean, I just think it's because a lot of they work kind of in this kind of regional area, Rochester, New York, Cleveland, and Pennsylvania. They've gotten out to Beyond a few times, but like they don't get out nearly as much as they probably should.
Mm-hmm.
And
But they work with so many different people. You think somebody would say, "Hey."
And knowing that Colin was in ECW, it just seems so surprising.
I mean, there was a minute there where Colin was like on doing some 205 live stuff, and I thought
Right.
for sure that he was going to go because he is just he's just that good. He definitely does not get the credit he gets among Cheech for that matter too. Like they do not get the credit like among the like elite top tier independent wrestlers that they probably should.
Yeah.
Because they've been doing it for so long and they can do it at such a high level, and they can do what so many people do not know how to do, and that is get other people over and make other people look good. And that's just a thing that is kind of a lost art now, and it's not necessarily the thing to do because it's such a individual business.
Yeah.
People want to do the flashy shit themselves, and they want the GIF. They want the GIF because they think the GIF's going to get them the contract. To where Colin and Cheech are worrying about the whole match and the story of the match and the pops in the match, and that's two different kind of mindsets and mentalities. But they are so good, and they would do so many companies a tremendous service if they got a contract, I think.
There's a reason why one of the longest running stories in AIW in 2019 was Colin and Cheech versus PME, and people didn't get tired of seeing it
Because they were good, and they were raising the stock in PME. Because before that, PME were just like everybody else. They were just two local student tag team guys,
And locally, people love them, and they always got a great
but
reaction.
not
But-
until that really started happening. Like they were
They were fun. They got good theme music, and they're good.
they were like
Yeah.
they were like lukewarm, and then Colin and Cheech got them red hot.
Yeah, that's fair.
I think they're an asset to the locker room because like besides PME, like me and Eddie only have learned a lot from Colin and
Yeah,
Cheech.
they've gotten a chance to kind of go around and work with different guys. And another thing they do is they watch the show.
Yeah.
After when they're done, Colin is going to go do commentary, or Cheech will sometimes do commentary, or they're
Yeah.
just going to sit and they're going to have a beer and they're going to watch the show.
Yeah.
And then they're going to go and they're going to say like this, don't do this, and this. And that's not asked. That's just them taking on the roles of locker room leaders. Colin is one of the most tenured guys at this point, which is kind of crazy with Duke and I here, because we've been in every era of AIW. Like Colin came in one of those middle eras, but now it's been a very long run.
Well, and to briefly sing the praises, we'll cover it more when we get to that recap. But in December, Colin was there, was not on the show, but he was there, and you were busy with all sorts of ICP stuff and everything else, and we knew that we wanted to put together 2 dark matches. We had no idea who was going to be on them until literally 15 minutes before doors opened, which meant that those matches basically had 30 minutes or less to get it together, and Colin agented those matches and took care of it and made sure that everybody was squared away and good to go.
And, that was him trying out a different role because, there is a time, like I've said in the past, where you can't just always have people on the shows, but Eric Ryan has done it at times. Bobby Beverly has done it at times to where they can go and they can work on the quality of the overall presentation of the show, and they have so much to offer, and they don't necessarily need to wrestle. And, it just turned out that it was a blessing because I forgot that Wadsworth had called off and Colin ended up calling the whole show too on commentary.
Yeah. From there, though, the match ends, and correct me if I'm wrong, but you kept running your mouth, Duke.
Well, I was confused because after my boys won, they were chanting, "Please come back," and I couldn't figure out why because we had just gotten there and they had already won, so we weren't going anywhere. I mean, we were already there and we had just won, and we were excited.
Yeah.
And I thought my good friend Ted DiBiase was going to come out and was going to continue the celebration with us.
Because you thought that you guys were
They're billionaires.
close in the same tax bracket.
Well, we're as I told him, we're very we both wear $2,000 suits. I just happened to wear mine that night. He didn't.
Yeah.
And
He had a nice WWE polo on.
yeah, we both have golden studded championships that I actually won and he made up, but that's beside the point. And and that we're both loaded and we could buy and sell everybody. And
but both rarely defended.
I thought we were gonna.
That's true.
we were gonna. What? Just because you don't see it doesn't mean I don't defend it. I defend that boot every day in my real life. So he comes out and he was just kind of a jerk, and I was a little put off by that. But and then to go behind the curtain again. Everybody that I've worked with has been really cool about letting me say whatever I want and letting me do whatever I want. Because I don't embarrass them on purpose.
Right.
But I know how to get heat, and I know I can think of things to say to piss them off. And I had the great one for Ted, but I didn't say it.
Can you please expose that on this podcast?
Give me a second, but it's so great. Like with Steamboat, like when we're backstage and he's like, "Okay, go." You get the thumbs up. Go, figure out what you want to do. And so you go over there, and he's like, "Okay, here's what I'm thinking." Blah blah blah. And like with Steamboat, I said, "Do you care what I say?" And he's like, "No, you say whatever you want." Because that's when I said the honky tonk man thing.
Yeah.
And then with Bunkhouse Buck, it was just kind of like, "Hey, I'm just gonna say, blah blah blah. Come out when I say this." And he comes out, and then I just was, calling him a serial killer because he had his "I know what you did last summer" overcoat on and all that stuff. And then with Ted, I was just like, "I'm going to talk. You come out whenever you want. I don't even care. Just hit your music and come out."
I can't wait to see Thorne's reaction to what you're.
Oh, I know.
he
what it
knows.
was.
I didn't know if you knew.
He knows. And then, so then we did, and he was like, I was like, I figured I'd come out, I'll do the thing, and I'll go throw a punch, block it, put me in the dream. He goes, "Yeah, okay." He goes, "Put you in the dream," and he goes, "Maybe when I've got you in there, we'll do a little like Russian leg sweep thing." So he's actually
He's
calling
bumping you,
bumps.
bro.
Yeah.
Fonzie, man. The Fonzie effect.
The
And
Fonzie
I'm like, okay, that's cool, And then I said, "Well, I'll give you the money, and you can put stuff it in my mouth and everything else." So we did the whole thing, and it was fucking cool as hell. And because I was doing the because he said, "How about I tell you to put your money where your mouth is?" So that's when I did the whole exaggerated taking my jacket off and rolling up my sleeves and all that stuff. What I was gonna do was,
I love this.
I can't remember how I was gonna get into it. I was gonna say something about how Thorne, instead of booking him, should have booked IRS. And then I was going to turn around and go, "At least his kid's champion." And then I was going to have Ted spin me around and go that way. But then I was like, I was telling,
Because Bray
Wyatt,
he won the belt like a week earlier.
Yeah,
or something.
and I was like, at least his kid's champion, just to really fucking
Right.
And he fell down. He thought it was the best thing ever. And the more I thought about it, I was like, I don't know how he's going to take this.
I was waiting for it because Duke asked me, and I was like, "Hey man, just let it rip," like I don't feel him out.
Me and Thorne, I did know Thorne knew. We talked about it, and Thorne popped me so hard. He goes, "I hope Pete says that, and I hope Ted just puts that $100 bill right in his pocket and leaves."
I was waiting for that. I was waiting for that for sure.
No, that was. I was texting my friends afterwards, and I know I'm very old, but I was texting my friends about what had just happened, and my one friend goes, could you go if you could go back in time and tell 17-year-old you, because I went, that's when I 17 when I was going to the Coliseum and watching shows, and he was super heel and all that stuff. Because if you could tell 17-year-old you that you're gonna get put in $1 Million Dream by Ted DiBiase, in a wrestling ring, well, how unbelievable would that be? And so it's just stuff like that.
Making memories.
Yeah,
That's how you pay him.
Pay him in dreams.
Unfortunately, yes.
Pay him in dreams. Paying him in dreams.
But that was
$1 Million Dreams.
Yeah, that was cool.
So from there, we go into another highly anticipated match, the third in the series. You coined this one, Duke.
Oh yeah. What did I say it was?
The rubber match.
The rubber match in the Rubber City. Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Big Twan Tucker taking on the one called Manders.
Another classic. Twan busts out a Hurricanrana. I jumped
How
out
about
of
that?
A twana.
Twana cane Twana.
Was that the most unbelievable thing you've ever seen him do?
I was like,
Well, now
wow.
I
mean, it wasn't pretty.
yeah, it wasn't pretty, and he did it from the. He didn't jump up. He
He did it from
the turnbuckle, but
from
it was
the
still
turnbuckle.
cool.
But it was still,
I mean, it was great.
we got something new out of
It's
it.
a twana.
Yeah.
Twana.
We got something new out of it, and this match was all that it needed to be, and
It was great. That's all that really needs to be said. It was great.
Yeah.
Everyone should watch all three of them, honestly.
yeah,
For different reasons.
That's a great 3-match stretch just right there. A couple of hosses that I imagine you're hoping they just tire each other out, Duke, so they don't come after that boot.
They got to get in line, man.
Both of those guys, I know I've been saying it, but those guys, Manders and Twan, could also have very big 2020s if they play their cards right.
Then we roll into tag team championship match. PME defending against Dr. Dan and professional Parker Pierce.
Pickle.
Toilet paper came out. Dr. Dan got hit with that. Dr. Dan went through my table in this match.
Yeah, he does that sometimes.
He was on
I saw Philly walking around backstage before, in typical Philly.
Was he hot?
Philly.
Mike?
Hot Philly.
He's always
hot. Mike.
Mike
And I was like,
Sandusky?
what? I was like, what's the matter? Just Philly's mad when he doesn't tell you words. He just has that blank look and he's just shaking his
Oh,
head.
he told me.
And I was just like, all right, man.
What's the matter?
Hot Mike.
Yeah. What's up with Dan and his game show host jacket that he wears now?
It's like those pillows they sell in Walmart.
Yeah, it's like every time I see him, I want to buy a vowel or.
I
You ever
believe.
see those
taking it for
pillows?
spin or
They're always all over Walmart. Those pillows.
love-
that you can,
Oh, the ones that you
I
go
love
up and
it.
yeah,
down
that's what the material is.
I love it. Thorne, before Dan goes out every time, Thorne writes something inappropriate in Dan's jacket, and Dan immediately brushes it out.
They had their matching gear, I believe, this
Well,
evening
their
as well.
pants match. Now.
Yeah.
They don't have matching jackets.
Not matching.
Well, Park
jackets.
doesn't Parker rock the '80s leather vest?
He rocks
And
the
that's it?
vest.
No,
and
he
then
rocks it
He
like
rocks the vest and then takes it off.
not leather.
goes shoot-
It's not
not leather.
leather.
It's not leather.
It's like shiny.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
It's like a school dance vest.
Yeah,
Like you're going to church
that's
on a
good.
Sunday
Like a
morning.
three-piece suit with just the vest.
Just the vest.
Yes,
Okay,
just the
all
vest
right.
of a suit.
All right.
Yeah.
It's an interesting look.
But looked, they did well. Yeah. Somehow Dan ends up through my table on the side there.
It's another good story here. Like good baby face, heel, like
Yeah.
down and dirty.
Dan should never be on the top rope, but he was, and that's how he ended up through my table. Lesson learned.
Dan has a pretty good sparkle splash.
He does. He does do that.
Is that the twisted bliss that he does?
He can really
Twisted
twist
bliss,
that
yeah.
body. Yeah.
Twisted bliss.
Yeah. The twisted Dan. I don't know what you call it.
I think this was like gift, or there was like one of those looping videos of Dan like getting pushed off the top rope, and it just looks like he just absolutely dies on Twitter. I remember
saw
this.
that.
The problem is you don't. I think you don't see him.
Yeah,
just
it just goes into
disappears.
the
Yeah, like
abyss.
he just disappears.
It did look like he absolutely died.
He goes
Did it
into
right in
like
front of
the vast abyss.
I
of
assure
space.
you, he is still breathing.
me.
Dan's alive.
I do know
He's
that.
alive. I know he's alive.
Yeah. But yeah,
Still
fun.
hasn't put the lug nut on my car that he said he was going to put on. I'm driving around missing a lug nut.
He's got a lot of student loans
Seems
to
important.
pay from Yale Polytechnic or wherever he went.
Anyway, fun one there. Make sure you check that out. And then we roll into the Intense title being defended Eric Stevens against Matthew Justice with the Fonzie effect. Of course, Fonzie in the corner there for Matthew Justice.
If you ordered Baby It's Too Cold Outside, you saw this match. This was shown for intermission.
During intermission, yeah.
Yes. Great
I did
match.
order that, and it was that I can vouch for that. It
It was
was.
a great match. Eric Stevens, still working at such a high level, is winding his career down. His final AIW appearance will be in Tampa on April the 2nd.
You're going to miss Eric Stevens coming around.
Well, enjoy him while you can, folks.
I know it hasn't been that long, but
He's
he's
got
a lot of fun to have.
You saying he's like a shooting star?
He's got two.
Yeah.
I believe he has two final appearances, two more appearances in Cleveland, and one in Akron,
One in Akron?
and one in Florida, and he is done.
That's it.
With his run in the IW. So
Wow.
enjoy him while you can.
Well, go back and watch this one because you're going to want to. Matt Justice continues to climb to different levels, and
Continues to climb everything.
Yeah, climb everything.
there was a little
pun
bit
intended.
there was a little bit of a pun there, wordplay, and Eric Stevens just continues to showcase why a lot of people wish he had never left wrestling, and why a lot of people still keep hoping that he doesn't. But great match here. Fonzie, of course, finds himself involved somehow, some way.
That damn Fonzie, always getting involved.
I love him.
Always sticking his nose in.
I think he loves the championships probably more than Matthew Justice.
I think he really does. He loves those title
Before
belts.
they even go out, Fonzie's walking around with the belt on his shoulder.
Yeah. It's Justice, baby.
He's
badass.
I don't even think he knows Matt has a first name. I think it's just
He
Justice.
finally learned.
Justice.
He finally learned it now. He knows it's Matthew
He's
Justice
getting
for a
his
while
game face
though.
on back there. He's got the belt. He's got to get in character.
My man,
Justice.
Love him. Love Fonzie.
When he did the promo by himself, that was when I think I was all in.
The jacket one?
I forget what show it was before, but he put it on Twitter, and it was just him.
Oh,
It wasn't like I don't know if he did it at a show or he did it at his house.
no, it's at his house.
It's at his house.
What was
Yeah.
the line? Where'd you get that
Dope ass, is it
dope ass jacket?
Dope ass jacket.
That dope ass jacket.
Yeah.
Fonzie, where'd you get that dope ass jacket?
Fonzie's cutting promos. I mean, I was like, what the hell? I'm like, all right, I get it.
Yeah,
not
that
to
was-
not to derail here. So I saw Fonzie, and he was decked out. Obviously, he's decked out in his polo and his hat.
Yeah.
But after the show, he was decked out in all AIW merchandise. Mm-hmm. AIW Shark T-shirt, AIW hat.
Yeah.
He was all about it. And I asked Dan about it, and Dan goes, Fonzie wanted one of every AIW shirt we had available. And he goes, Fonzie specifically said, Shark shirt, Skull shirt, and hat.
Did he pay for these things?
I'm not too sure.
I don't know. I'm not going to
That's
tell him
Fonzie.
to.
I don't have.
Love
I don't-
Fonzie.
That's Potato's job, isn't Potato merchandise executive?
Yeah,
No.
he is. Yep.
Is he?
Technically speaking, yeah.
I always see Weird Body back there.
Well,
Thorne specifically
Potato's
wants
supposed to
Pedro
be-
or Potato out of the ring and handling merchandise.
Yeah, I mean, I want him to be Don West.
Okay. He is a good shill. I'll give him credit for that.
right. that's
And
what
he
I
has a
want him to
dirty
do.
belly button.
So
That's old news.
Fonzie loves wearing the merch. He loves wearing it. He's got his own merch too. Grab yourself a Fonzie t-shirt.
They're going to be available soon.
Yeah, February 7th. He'll be there. He'll be there in February.
I got another great promo from Fonzie. I got to release.
Thorne and I each have Fonzie t-shirts, courtesy of Fonzie.
Is it the one with Sabu and RVD?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, of course. Yeah. Can't believe he got all, little known fact for those wondering. Fonzie got all of his customized AIW Matt Justice gear made himself.
He gave a fan a hat, and he told me, he was like, damn it, Daddy, that's $50. I have to get a new one made now.
Yeah.
And I was,
Damn it, Daddy.
What's our new T-shirt sponsor? We're gonna have to refer Fonzie.
JPEG.
he's already got an order into him.
There you go. JPEG right there. From this match, we go into Eddie Kingston and Trey Lamar. And this is a match that Trey wanted. In Akron, Thorne, you typically talk to him. All right, man, you're gonna bring some people.
It was requested by Trey.
What do you want? And how do you think he did?
I thought he did very well. You know, Trey Lamar, Trey Lamar's problem is Trey Lamar. Like Trey Lamar has all the tools in the world. However, Trey Lamar sometimes
Was he on time for this show, or was he late?
Yeah, but sometimes Trey Lamar gets in Trey Lamar's way, and that is his biggest problem. He would be so much further along if he knew how to just chill out. You know what I mean? And just like he thinks he thinks everything is going to be the next big shortcut to superstardom, and he has this match proved that he has all the tools to achieve that. He just has to like learn how to get out of his own way. Okay. This match is very good. It showcases that he is very, very talented. He hangs with Eddie, and it's excellent. It's an excellent learning experience for Trey. An excellent learning experience for myself and the fans to see that Trey is capable of this. And like I said, I think that he has a lot to offer. He just has to get out of his own way in 2020 and just like let things happen.
Yeah, this is a very different kind of match for Trey. In shows past and previous, even when he has a singles kind of match, he's paired with guys with a similar style. Case in point, DJZ, he wrestled in Akron.
That was good.
It was very good. And we'd yet to see him with someone one-on-one with such a contrasting style like Eddie Kingston.
And I think this opened a lot of eyes. If you see this match, like Trey stood up there with him. Like Trey got the absolute dog shit beat out of him by Eddie Kingston, but stood right up to him.
And he knew that was going to happen going in, I think, which...
Trey always gets his ass kicked when we're in Akron.
Yeah.
Justice beat the shit out of him the show before.
I love it. It always happens right in front of his mom.
I know,
and she's always a wreck about it.
Yeah. But he was very excited about this match going in, and I know it was a point of pride for him that he really wanted to be able to prove what Thorne said, specifically to somebody like John Thorne, that he is capable of this. So
I love it because I love the competitiveness of the students there, because Trey always wants to have a good match in Akron, but on the other hand, Bishop, he wants to have the good match at Akron. Like there's the rivalry between both of them is top notch.
Yeah,
but I just love watching it.
Could you watch a Joshua Bishop Trey Lamar match for a while? Did you just watch that?
No, in Akron they would kill each other.
No, in Akron they would kill each other. Me and Thorne watched it right next to each other, and as they were beating the crap out of each other, I look at Thorne, and Thorne goes, Josh is just really mad at Trey because Trey said he owes him some money.
That could be a rivalry for the ages right there. And as we speak on it, the very next match, Joshua Bishop and Nick Gage.
Unbelievable violence,
which is not something we typically get necessarily in Akron.
I will say I got very irritated with you, Steve Guy, at the end of this, because beforehand I said, before they come out, announce we're coming back with Scott Hall.
and I had to hear about it for the entire match.
Damn it!
And I didn't get to.
He and I are standing by the door, sitting by the door, and he's like texting you to say it or whatever. And he's like, I fucking texted him and told him.
And I was like, okay, got it. And then I didn't. And I knew it right after, too. I was like, motherfucker. Yeah, I knew it immediately.
But so I couldn't enjoy this match, to be perfectly honest.
It was violent.
Steaming. I was steaming.
This match was so violent.
It was very violent. And again, it's not something that we do in Akron
it's a different building, and we got to be a little more careful.
Yeah. I mean, guys brawl through the crowd. Trash cans have been used. But this is easily the most violent match we've ever had in Akron, right? I would say.
Easily.
All right.
Yeah. Easily. Yeah. And then I think number 2 probably would be that Justice match.
Justice and Yuta and
Trey.
Yeah.
Is that where somebody ends up going through tables?
I think Justice put Trey through.
Put them both through.
Put them both through the
plastic
right?
tables.
Some plastic tables.
Over by the bleachers.
But it was it was just chop after chop after chop in the bleachers. And
when them tables got broke, Thorne immediately goes, get them tables out of here. Get them out of here.
Little promoter tip: when you break something in the venue, you gotta get it out quick. You gotta get it out quick before
dumpsters for a reason.
No, you gotta put it in the U-Haul so there's no evidence that it was broken.
These two,
You have to put it in U-Haul and then
Get rid of it.
dump it
To get a
off
different dump.
premises.
And
these two
Take that shit to Burger King.
tell CPA to get down. I got to throw something away.
They traded shots with the doors, broken doors in this match, I believe, right?
Yeah.
That did
Did
happen.
everything in this match, but I couldn't enjoy it because I was mad at you because you forgot to announce Scott Hall was coming to Akron
That's a
February
weird thing that
22nd.
I'm really
I
sorry.
haven't gotten used to yet.
What's that?
Is the door.
I tell you, those fucking
I thought
those
you were gonna
table
say-
companies fucked
No,
up.
I understand. For whatever reason,
Plastic, everyone went to plastic. It's just
Yeah.
not the same.
I just can't get used to doors for some reason. I don't know why.
It's the only affordable thing you could break.
The fans have caught on and they love it. Fans love the
People
doors.
just like it, things breaking, and it's hard. It's super hard to find those wooden tables anymore.
It's like a good steel chair. I think it gets the job done. I don't know.
I agree.
Ask Matt Justice about that.
I don't need to ask anybody. I can ask myself.
Yeah. Well, then we go after party
Thursdays
Lounge in
Interesting
Akron.
location. Yeah.
Downtown Akron,
Hard. Couldn't find a place to park for a little bit.
awesome food spread they got for us.
They had free food for us.
Yeah, that was provided
I
by. They
think-
got it from somewhere else.
Yeah, they got catering for us. I think we may be going back there after the 22nd. Negotiations ongoing, but
Because we had 30 people there probably,
probably more than
I
that.
think.
Yeah.
Had a nice little dance floor. Had some weird locals down there dancing.
That one dude.
That one dude was
he was
yeah.
tearing it up.
He was just he kept like dancing wide, so everybody got out
Yeah.
of his way.
We kept
so he
show-
had the dance floor to himself.
Every time
it's like a whole flash dance thing going on.
Every time he did a new move, Duke and I pointed it out to each other. We're like, look at this.
I will say
He's
one of the
doing
most
kicks.
the most memorable things from the after party. It's Fonzie was in there. Thunder Kiss 65 was playing, and I just took a video of it just for myself because it was so funny. And another thing was watching CPA hit on some ladies and then go, "Hey, you want to see something?" And then showing them the dumpster video. And I don't think it worked, but
Apparently,
Hey.
he just met
Went
back
back
up.
to the well one too many times, I guess.
he just went back to the real well
Yeah,
recently
That's what I'm saying,
He just met back up-
I saw that
on
yeah.
Twitter like a couple weeks ago.
Met back up with her.
And
Wow.
do we know who that is?
I don't.
You know, oh.
There is an individual who knows who it is.
Is this person from
She is
Cleveland? Or
Yeah,
is she
yeah,
Yes,
yeah,
she's
yeah.
from Cleveland. She's friendly with a certain individual who.
It's on a sauce sabbatical
Yeah.
does
for all
not listen to
2020.
the podcast? So
No,
Let's hope not.
Yeah.
she's.
So how did CPA run into her? Did he come here to see her? Or
They
Hold on, Steve.
They must have exchanged
I think I'm gonna
information.
see if I know
right, but
her
I mean
from
that's kind
Facebook.
of that sounds like a halfway meeting type gig.
They met in Pennsylvania
There you
somewhere.
go, halfway meeting type
Yeah,
gig.
they met in Pennsylvania somewhere.
Okay.
recently.
My phone died, so I can't. What are you looking up there, Derek?
I just want to know. We can talk about this after the podcast. I want to know the identity of this woman.
Oh, I don't know it.
Oh, I mean, I saw her that evening. Prior to that and after.
It does not shock me that he knows who she is, considering where we were. I mean, I'm sure he knows everybody that goes in there.
He. You didn't hear this whole story.
No.
This girl.
So, I'm not sure.
Okay, I have a story about her to tell you after.
Thorne, because Thorne knows who
the
that
after
is. I think.
podcast. What you want? What you want?
This is behind perverts behind the paywall.
The story goes, Duke, that our friend, local to the place.
This was disproven. What you're gonna say? It's been disproven.
No. He had said this, that he had an interest in the girl, but then his ex-girlfriend, who he was
there
really
was,
into,
There was another story that got misconstrued. That interest was
intercourse.
yes prior to the dumpster, and that was the story
That was disproven. Yeah,
that has been debunked.
But he was courting.
Snopes.
But he was courting this young lady, and then his
was wooing her?
He was wooing her, and then his ex-girlfriend showed up, who he is much more into. He's like, yeah, I'm gonna go talk to her.
At Now That's Class?
Yeah,
All the same.
all the same night,
All at Wrestle Rager.
all at Wrestle Rager. At which point,
You got to stick around to the after parties. It gets-
CPA
I
moves
was
in.
hitting him too hard early. I got out of there.
CPA then moves.
shit goes down in Club Atlantis, bro.
Yeah, CPA moves in at that point, and ultimately they end up by the dumpster. Yes.
But anyway,
Okay, anyway.
that's it for Akron, folks.
That's all from Akron, and thank you again for making 200 shows possible for AIW. Obviously, it couldn't have been done without all of you, the fans, and hopefully we do 200 more, but we need you to buy tickets to events. We need you to buy the streams. We need you to buy DVDs. We need you to buy merchandise. We need your support now more than ever.
Pretty please. Pretty
make
please.
sure
Buy tickets, buy
you
tickets,
do
buy
all
tickets.
of that. And with that being said, thanks for joining us. So for Derek, director, for the Duke, for AIW owner John Thorne, my name is Steve Guy. We'll talk to you next week right here on AIW's The Card is Going to Change.